From tiny to long to ginormous, beetles are by far the most successful animals on the planet. Making up 25% of all animal species, beetles are the largest groupings of animals on Earth. Extremely successful, being able to survive even the most extreme environments, have helped them with their evolutionary success. Hello, welcome to Wild Side of Things, and this is Facts About Beetles. Beetles, not to be confused with the beetles, are any insect within the taxonomic order Coleoptera. With over 400,000 species and making up 25% of the entirety of the animal kingdom, Coleoptera is the largest order of any animal. While not exclusive to beetles, with a select few bugs and cockroaches also having elytra, beetles are the most prominent insect to have elytra. Coleoptera is further divided into 4 suborders. Archostomata, the smallest suborder only containing 45 species, Myxophaga, which only contains 65 species, Adaphaga, which contains 40,000 species, and Polyphaga, the largest suborder, containing 350,000 species. Beetles are extremely diverse, living in nearly every single habitat on Earth, and living on all continents except Antarctica. The vast majority of species are terrestrial. However, some such as diving beetles, marsh beetles, and whirling beetles are known to be aquatic, though none of which can live in saltwater environments. Due to the order's diversity, beetles have a wide range of social lives. Some are solitary, and others congregate in large groups. One particular species is a clear outlier. Austroplatypus incompertus is a species of ambrosio beetle which lives a eusocial life. Eusociality is the collective carrying of brood over generations in a colony. While not unique to, eusociality is most typically seen in hymenopterans and isoterans. As such, seeing it in beetles is truly a spectacle. As per being the largest group of animals on Earth, beetles are extremely diverse, with the order having species in every feeding type. The vast majority, however, are herbivorous. There are carnivorous and omnivorous beetles, but the majority are herbivorous. Quite a few species have specialized in the consumption and pollination of flowering plants. In fact, the vast majority of beetles have specialized in the consumption of angiosperms. That is, flowering plants which bear fruits. Just like their wide feeding ranges, their diversity leads to them being eaten by just about everything above them in the food chain. Coleoptera as an order is extremely old, dating back 300 million years ago during the Carboniferous, long before dinosaurs or Pangea ever came into being. The modern groupings of beetles we'd recognize today didn't evolve until some 66 million years ago. Fossil and genetic evidence suggests that the radiation which led to the diversification of beetles is directly linked with the development of enzymes which break down plant cellulose on cell walls. Interestingly enough, these genes are thought to have been transferred from bacteria and fungi in a process known as horizontal gene transfer, which is essentially the transfer of genes from single-celled organisms to multicellular organisms. Their diversification is also thought to have been caused by the diversification of flowering plants. Beetles have a number of adaptations for living in their environments. Their elytra are extremely helpful in aiding their survivability, not just because of the obvious armor coating, but also because they help them in flight, temperature tolerance, and water storage. The elytra can act to glide in mid-air, allowing for a more controlled flight. The space between the tissues of the wings allows for water storage underneath the elytra. The top half of the elytra has hydrophobic properties, which can help keep them safe from adhesive water particles. Beetles, just like the majority of all other insects, reproduce by laying eggs and copulate internally, with the exception of a few species in the Elyocyrene subfamily and the Chrysomyelinae family, who bear live young. To attract a mate, beetles will release pheromones which alert any potential mate of their presence. Sometimes, like in the case of fireflies, bioluminescence is used to attract potential mates. Oftentimes, there are rituals before mating which involve vibrating their body and the object they stand on. How young are raised and laid varies between species. Many will simply lay their eggs under a leaf and then leave. On the other hand, some beetles, such as the scarab beetle, will care for the eggs and young. Once they hatch, they emerge as larvae. The larvae are known to have ferocious appetites and will usually eat the same food as adults. Beetles go through a complete metamorphosis, having larval, pupa, and adult phases. The length of each phase varies from species to species, with some having larval stages lasting years. The length of each stage can be to a limited degree manually controlled, as beetles go through what is known as diapause, which is the intentional halting of development, which also leads to beetle larvae being extremely hardy and resilient. Typically, they go through diapause when conditions become harsh, such as food and water becoming limited. This can even go to the extreme. The larva of the Alaskan beetle, for example, is known to be able to survive up to -100 degrees Celsius.